Sakamoto Days is by far the best ongoing shonen manga right now, and quite possibly the best action manga ever. It has a compelling story that grows masterfully and better with each chapter. It has amazing character writing that gets accomplished through fights, which is always a hard thing to pull off but is always unique and great to experience. It has some of the most impressive art and paneling in all of manga, choreography that makes other great manga look like child's play, and an insane consistency and quality since chapter 1. How does a manga that is mostly fighting with little to no breaks and has pacing faster than that of Jujutsu Kaisen build a decent story and or has any character work at all? I asked the question last year whether it was going to be the next big thing, and apparently it is. The manga has only gotten more popular, an anime adaptation was announced, and stars are all aligning with most of the big boys of Jump coming to an end. Everyone is turning towards and picking up Sakamoto Days. In that video, I was very proud to say that I recommended the manga when it only had 7 chapters 3 years ago. But now I'm even more proud because that very video became the most viewed Sakamoto Days video on the internet, which is both a badge of honor and a flex I will proudly hang on to. I love this manga so much, and it has that special magic of only getting better as time passes by. The art keeps improving somehow, the great cast of characters keeps expanding and developing, and the story that starts off very simple gets bigger, wider, and deeper, only getting better like the art, while not forgetting its core and showing clear signs that the author is enjoying what he writes, which to me is the pinnacle of good fiction. So again, let's take a look at the art, characters, and story of Sakamoto Days and figure out why it's this good, why Sakamoto Days to me is an ongoing masterpiece, a classic in the making. And to do that, I am not going to summarize the manga for you, go read it yourself. We won't even be addressing the main plot or big things in the manga. I will simply talk about my favorite character in it. So this video is now all about him, a character analysis you can say, but it is more than enough to answer every single question I asked so far. Heisuke Mashimo is a 21-year-old professional assassin who graduated from the biggest assassin academy in Japan. Except he sucks at being an assassin. He is too nice to kill people, and he is also too stupid for his own good, so he gets used and made fun of by his colleagues. He is currently homeless, living in a roughly patched tent over some rooftop, a tent he calls special because it was given to him by his grandma. He has no family, no friends, only his pet bird, Pisuke. Like Denji from Chainsaw Man, he is a hungry, poor guy who seeks the simplest of pleasures, dreaming of eating sushi one day as if it is the highest reward out there. He takes the decision to change his current situation by bounty hunting, and the person he goes for is none other than Taro Sakamoto, who has 1 billion yen on his head. When he visits Sakamoto's shop and confronts him, he doesn't realize he is talking to the man himself, since Sakamoto got fat. He didn't even have to be tricked. I mean, he is so stupid when he is next to Shin, who is a clairvoyant who can read everyone's thoughts. Heisuke's thoughts are not voices like the other characters. They are presented by simply roughly drawn sketches that sometimes are inverted and make little to no sense. When he finds out this isn't Sakamoto and that there are hundreds of thousands of Sakamotos out there, he gets discouraged and loses his motivation. The gang gives him some free pork buns to eat and he gets going. Back to his tent with no goal and no hope. Only a glimmer of determination to prove that he is something. But what is he and what can he prove? His special tent gets blown away with a gust of wind, but he finds an ad for a paintball tournament that rewards 1 million yen, which he hopes can get him an apartment. So he and Pisuke get going. Shin and Sakamoto are also here, and they see him begging to be allowed to play since only teams of 2 to 5 are accepted. So he clings to the boys until they agree to let him join them. They expect nothing from him. But remember, he is an assassin for a reason. no matter how clumsy and stupid he is. See, Heisuke is a sniper, and obviously I don't like him because I love any and all sniper and archer characters. It's not because I grew up training with hunting rifles and shit and proceeded to find fictional characters that fill the inner void of the hunter inside of me. Anyways, Heisuke goes on to show his insane shooting skills. When he almost finds the truth about Sakamoto, he doesn't. He's that stupid. But he eventually finds out, and he doesn't like being lied to. So now he wants both the reward and the bounty. Serious Heisuke is out now, but he still cries because he just lost his newfound comrades. But as an assassin, he wants to prove his worth. His specialty is not shooting straight like any sniper. He is a master at ricochet. He uses special rubber bullets that bounce around, and he uses the environment to control the bullet's path. He also uses Pisuke, his bird, to scout and give him signals of locations, which is kinda genius. He reflects on his life, the life of a loser who always sucked at everything he did, except for sniping, so he mastered it. Even after he became an assassin, he was always looked down on, being told an assassin can't be only good at one thing. Heisuke always messed up missions when he wasn't needed to snipe, and he was fired. The bounty on Sakamoto means so much more to him than just survival from hunger and homelessness. It proves he is amazing and capable of something. By the way, he says all of this stuff in an open mic where Shin and Sakamoto can hear him. He was just talking to himself and was shocked that they heard him. Shin tells him that believing in himself is the only thing that matters, that wasting your life trying to prove something to others is the worst way to live it. Anyways, they find him and Sakamoto throws a rock through his rifle barrel and the fight is over. This is Taro Sakamoto after all. So, Heisuke is a failure. Nothing changed in his eyes. But Sakamoto says he is the most incredible sniper he has ever met. From then onward, Heisuke comes to the convenience store regularly to take leftover food and gradually becomes an ally who helps the gang whenever they need him, and ultimately becomes a part of the squad. Now, why did I choose Heisuke specifically out of all characters that are each more interesting and grander than him, more complex or deeper, out of all of the amazing arcs and crazy twists and turns that the manga takes us through? I don't know, he's my favorite character, so I want to talk about him. But seriously though, Heisuke's simplicity is something that shines in a manga like Sakamoto Days. I appreciate Nobara and Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen for the same thing. Rock Lee and Leorio are pioneers of simple characters that somehow fit in with a cast of complex individuals. And that character trope, which I always find fascinating, despite how boring and simple someone would think, is exactly how I feel about the Sakamoto Days manga as a whole. A simple manga that somehow, compared to the insanity around it, still holds its own, and hell, even outshines the competition in many different aspects that it excels at. Don't get me wrong, the manga can get seriously tragic and grim, and some of these flashbacks and events are really good, but it never pretends to be something it is not. This stems from the author's personality and style of writing, and like I mentioned earlier, the fact he is having a blast while writing this manga, and you can feel it on the pages and throughout the chapters, in every fight, dialogue, and every arc. Sakamoto Days is fun, the fun that feels like the 2000s anime we all miss. Screw the Dark Trio or the new gen, Sakamoto Days is the new Gintama, and there is no higher praise than that. With all of that, we still have not covered Heisuke's whole story, so let me continue. Heisuke starts to regularly go on missions with Sakamoto and the gang. He helps rescue Shin in a fight, assisting him in the process. He acts as a scout and support whenever needed. He got everything he desires from this company, a sense of camaraderie, being useful, proving himself as an assassin, and growing as a person. Once he meets Hyo in an airport, where he lost his bag that contains his rifle. Hyo is an order member. These guys are the highest ranked assassins in all of Japan, and Hyo ends up liking Heisuke's tenacity and hard-working nature because it reminds him of himself, a pure hard-working man that climbed to the top by pure grit and work. Heisuke gets in the middle of a fight between Hyo and Kumanomi. Everything Heisuke believes in gets shattered in this fight. Kumanomi deflects one of his bullets and makes it kill a civilian. She peels down every layer of his motivations and actions. She can weaponize the surrounding environment with her electromagnet glove, which makes Heisuke a great counter for her, but he is still nothing compared to these two order-level assassins. He is rendered useless and weak. So he watches as Hyo takes her on. I do not want to spoil the events or the outcome of this fight because it's really good and better experienced directly from the manga. But Heisuke is no longer the same after this arc. He completely shatters under the weight of the world he is in. The incident changes him, making him lose all of his confidence, and the one thing he relied on, his sniping skills, are no longer present. He gets in situations where he shouldn't, and he sees things differently. All of this tension builds up and explodes in a fight against Kamihate. See, Kamihate is also an order assassin. He is after Sakamoto. He is too strong and a big problem. Our boys are powerless against his range because he is a sniper. Not just any sniper, he is the best sniper in the world. This man is a master at environment manipulation. Things like shooting another sniper through his scope, shooting a guy and then shooting the pin on a grenade that flew away from his body, making it explode on the others, shooting a knife on the ground, making it bounce and hitting it again at an angle, making it strike the hiding enemy. He is the real deal, and Heisuke tells them to leave it to him. This is my favorite fight from the manga. Out of dozens that are as good, if not way better, this fight simply hits different though. All of Heisuke's growth and journey leads to this. With all of his recent lack of confidence and inner troubles, yet he takes on a challenge that no one else can, a challenge he wouldn't even dream of confronting. Heisuke stands in the open, throws Kamihate's bullet and shoots it in the air. This is a declaration of war. Kamihate goes for the head, but Heisuke jumps in the air, taking the hit with his bulletproof vest. Risky and weird tactic, but it works. He knows Kamihate's direction now. Heisuke's clumsiness and non-standard tactics are his strength. He is overwhelmed by Kamihate, who shoots a construction crane, then makes a stop sign alter its path to hit Heisuke, shoots a car wheel making it do the same, and tells him he is not the only one who can change a bullet's path. And he demonstrates this by shooting a poor guy's bike, using the spinning wheel to change the bullet's path, hitting Heisuke. Heisuke gets driven to a corner. He has not dealt any damage and he is on the losing end. So what does he do? He purposely takes a shot that destroys his scope and almost hits him, but in the process he analyzed and was able to memorize its path. The path he shoots back in, right towards Kamihate. He ends up blocking a bullet from hitting his bird, but accidentally bends a shot. Remember, his bullets are made of a special type of rubber, and this was new to him. He trusts that instinct. The climax is here. Both of them are out in the open. Heisuke risks taking a direct shot, but flings his gun, bending the bullet behind the building, and he hits Kamihate. Both are injured and see each other from across the train railway. And this is the next panel. There are no words in which I can describe it, but I did promise you earlier that following Heisuke, a side character, will tell us everything we need to know about Sakamoto Days. The insane level of choreography in the fights, the stellar art, and the amazing characterization through it all. Obviously, this is not the only thing in Sakamoto Days. I talked about Heisuke's contrasting simplicity that is alien in the manga itself. I could have picked many secondary characters, analyzed their journeys and personality, and that would have taken us in a completely different journey. But this is the core of the manga, Sakamoto Days. It is a story of many different individuals, each grappling with his own inner conflict and dealings in the assassin world, a world of danger. A witty and playful manga that can flip the switch anytime to some of the most profound and heart-wrenching moments, all while doing it in style and an expressive personality like no other. It is not the next big thing, it is the big thing now. So read it if you haven't. A big thanks to my patrons for the support. You can join them for extra videos, early access, monthly recommendations of the best media I find, and many other benefits like short stories I post there. I can even write you one of your own choosing. Drink a lot of water, stay positive and sexy, and many thanks for watching.